Bye, beautiful canyon. Next stop, Wilcox. Y'all may be happy to know that I made it to Wilcox. And remember when I told you it looked like a monsoon buildup? Yep. According to the weather, it's raining in the area I just left down near Bonita Canyon. So what did I tell you? I've definitely lived in Arizona long enough to know when a monsoon's coming on. That's for sure. And when I pulled in here is 101. And you can see all the clouds building up. There's upper level raining. It's just not reaching the ground. There's upper level, what do they call upper level precipitation. It's just not reaching the ground. It's evaporating before it gets down here. That's what all that is over there. But I stopped in and I was actually feeling pretty ragged. I went inside, got some things to eat, watered up real good, and came back outside, and these clouds had just ballooned up. So now I got a little bit of shade, and I checked the temperature again, and it was already down to 92, so that's good. Yeah, so we're heading up to Safford right now via the back route, going up through Fort Grant. And there used to be a museum up at Fort Grant, but Fort Grant used to be a medium security prison as well as a museum for the historic Fort Grant that used to be there. And this is all south of Mount Graham, which is the gigantic mountain right in front of us. Think of Mount Graham as being like Mount Lemmon back in Tucson, right? Anyway, the significance of that, well, there's not much. They had to move it around several times because of vulnerabilities that constantly get picked off against the Apaches. But one interesting thing about Fort Grant back when this was all New Mexico territory, Billy the Kid used to come over here and work occasionally, and what he would do is he would come handle cattle, and he would round up cattle and drive the cattle that would feed the soldiers stationed at Fort Grant. These huge cottonwoods. And you can see the last known Fort Grant, right? It's sitting up there on that hill. It's the break in the, before you get into the mountains, it's that break in all the green over there. We'll pass by it here in a few moments. But it's, I was telling you earlier how it used to have a museum up there describing the old Fort Grant, but they don't let anybody tour that anymore because it's, you know, it is a medium security prison. And I guess they just don't let people get that close to it anymore. So I won't be driving up that road to show you anything, cameras rolling and such. Yep, there it is. Right there. So like I said, they used to have a museum that you could go out to, but read online that they stopped doing that a couple years ago. Well, we're getting closer, but these canyons that I'm cutting through are really nice, except that the wind has really picked up. This change in temperature, and it can make cutting through these canyons a little tricky. You have your line all planned out for a curve, but then, you know, like this bank is protecting you, and then as soon as you come out, wham, you're hit with the wind again. Check the forecast, and it changed from being fairly mild winds to 18-mile-an-hour winds with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. So there's one now, right on cue. Once again, you come through these cuts and everything sort of normals out, and then you're broadsided with it as soon as you come out. Still beautiful though. This is all now part of the Coronado National Forest. Over off on my left, maybe you'll see it in the mirror, is Mount Graham, the biggest piece of it anyway. Whew, we're almost there. Let's see how it goes. I am. I have a reservation at one of the cabins.
Because you got a nice big tree for shade.
And if I remember right, that's the one that the front porch actually faces the lake.
Yes, it does.
Thank you much, ma'am.
It's a nice place.
All right, here we are. What's going on here? Oh my goodness. How is the water up so high? I might have to go get me a fishing pole. If any of you are wondering what the inside of these cabins look like, they look like this. It's messy, but you have to provide your own bedding. So that's my sleeping bag, my shamag, the sleep roll that I usually use, plus my inflatable pillow. I'll use those up here to get comfy. Maybe I'll put the sleeping pad. And then there's a second room here. And I've had people recommend that what you do is you take the cushion off of one of these smaller beds and add it to the bigger beds so that you get more comfortable. And here's the charging station with everything getting charged up. And of course lots of water, and I'm about to go outside and eat my dinner. Take a look at this, right out my front porch. Pretty awesome, isn't it? You're gonna lose me in the wind.